Hello everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about flow control statements. That means how a sequence of statements, executable statements, Python executable statements have to be executed through a control process like until some condition is satisfied. Okay, and that condition could be multiple condition, so we are going to see all those things. Okay, or it could be having some specific value and then execute it and so on. So we are going to see some examples, and this notes is fully sourced. For the first time I'm telling you this, fully sourced, right? Fully sourced from docs.python.org. Okay, so and I always run this one, which basically helps us to make sure that I can get multiple print statements executing and creating outputs and printing it and showing it to us. And this also another condition I will always run to show what is the Python version that I'm running. So it is 3.10, okay, 3.10. So the first control statement that I'm going to introduce you is while statement. So it says while a condition is satisfied, execute the block, the block below. Okay, this is the block below. So the whole block will be executed until a becomes, so a is changing value here, so a is starting with a equal to 0, a comma b is equal to 0 comma 1. A is starting with 0, and it is going to execute. This block of statements will be executed until that a is less than or equal to 1 billion, right? That's what this says. So one interesting, and this is one interesting thing I want to introduce you is that you can assign multiple values to multiple variables or parameters with the equality symbol. So here I'm saying a takes 0, b takes 0. B takes 1. A takes 0, b takes 1. So this particular statement, very cryptic small statement, creates what is called Fibonacci series numbers. Okay, which is the sum of two elements defines the next element. Okay, it's the next value. Sum of two values defines the next value. So in a sequence A, B, C, D, E, like that. First two numbers are given 0 and 1. The C is A plus B. D is B plus C. E is C plus D, like that. Okay, and that is the same thing written in this form as a loop. Okay, so A is 0, B is 1. So what we are saying is that A is 0, B is 1, and then first time it prints A, and then next time what is going to happen? So let's just walk you through with this number, actual answer that printed out. So first one is A, second one is 0, the third one is 0 plus 1, which is 1. Okay, then this becomes A and this becomes B. And then we add these two, 1 plus 1, 2. Then this becomes A and this becomes B. And that is what is happening here. Okay, so A comma B is equal to A becomes B, B becomes A plus B. The old B becomes now the new value with the new value A plus B. That's what we are saying. So that is a sequential way of actually getting the sum of previous two values. And you can see that within, even with up to billion, it quickly exhausts. It's not that it takes a long time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, something like that, so probably around, so we can even count that later on. We can do that as an exercise. But the point is, I have introduced you the while loop. Also, sometimes in some programming languages, this is called do while, do while some condition, but we don't have do here. It's just while this is the condition, while the condition is satisfied, do this block of, commands. The other thing I want to tell you is that I copied and pasted it from docs.python.org. The same code, this triple arrow dot, all these things are valid within. Usually it is used as a command line script, but here if you copy and paste it, it will come without any complaining. Okay, that's a beautiful thing too. Okay, so I actually printed the last one. It turns out to be, you can see that it's more than a billion, 1.134 billion. Okay, that's why it stopped. Okay, now next one I want to introduce you is the if statement. Again, in this process I also want to introduce something interesting to you. You can take input while you executing the programming line. You can take input from keyboard and use that as input to your problem solving. Okay, for example, I'm saying take x as an integer input. When I say input function, it automatically will wait. Okay, so for example, if I do input, it is waiting please enter an integer. That's what this is asking. This is actually the command, please enter an integer. So I'm going to put, let's say 53. I'm going to say any number, 53. But here is the program that is executing though. If x is less than 0, it says reassign it to 0 value. Okay, and print negative, change it to 0. Else if. So you did the if condition first, and then if that is not true, if in other words, if x is equal to 0, equal to 0, the truth value, then print 0, right? Else if x is equal to 1, print single. Else you end up with, you can do multiple conditions, else if, and then finally you say else and say simply more. So let's just enter, because I entered it but I didn't input it. So because 53 is more than 1, it printed, it said print more. It executed the command print more. You also have a ternary 3 parts if statement. So here is an example. That ternary if is this, that is, print something, do something if some condition is happening, else do something else. Do something if some condition is happening, else do something else. And this is also executed with the input value, keyboard input. So I'm going to put it says print a as it is if it is negative, else print 200 times the a value. So I'm going to put 4. So the value, it is not a negative number, it's a positive number, so it is going to do 200 times a4, so 800 it should print. Okay, let's see. Entered, it did print 8. Okay. The above is similar to switch or case statements in other languages. So something is so the next flow statement I want to introduce is what is called the for statement. So for some values, with a condition, it could be an iterative statement. Do something, okay? Execute a block of codes, execute a whatever. So here is the words has cat, window, and definite straight, definite straight, okay? Definite straight. I don't know. I took it from the docs.python.org. So for W in words, so this becomes it's a collection of items. So you can iterate over a list. This is a list, and the for statement can work on a iterable object. This is an iterable object. So for W in, so W goes over this one. So W in means words means W is cat, or W is window, or W definite straight, right? And for W in words, print W. That's all we are doing. And also not only W, the word, but also the length of the word. So that's exactly, so cat is 3, window is 6, and definite straight is 12. You can see that, okay? This is 6, and this is another 6, 12. So that's exact. So it printed the word. For W in words, print W and length also. So that's what it's done. So it is done. So here is the for statement, which is working as an iterable, on an iterable object. The for statement is working in this case on an iterable object. That means an object that you can iteratively pull out values and then execute a block of statement. In this case, what did you pull out? You pull out cat first and then printed it, and then you go back to the words, W in words. So the next one is window, so it prints the window and its length, and finally it pulls out this word from the words list, and then it prints that word and its length. So in the process, I want to introduce something called is an example for statement. Example, it's basically I am taking a user status in users.copy.item. So there is something, a tuple is here, user and status is coming from users.copy and items. So let me define the users. Something happened to that, so I lost that one. Now I'm going to put it back. Okay, so here is the users list, right? So you can see in this case it's really a because it is a users is a dictionary, so I can take each of the key key value pair as an item. Okay, so instead of directly working with the users, I'm going to work with the copy, because if I change anything here, then because I'm going to delete the user, right? If, based on some condition, from the users item, instead of doing users item, first of all, I'm doing users copy of this users dictionary. I take a copy and we work on it. Okay, first point, you can do that. Okay, and I'm saying user and status in the item. So the username is Hans, his status is active. Username is Eleanor, his name is inactive. I don't know what it is, what language it is, but that person is active. So let's we'll go into the details of here, but nonetheless you can execute that here. What matters is you are only checking if status is inactive. Then delete that user from the users. Okay, from the users you delete that user if the status is inactive. So so if you if you don't take a copy of it, then users will get changed. That's why we want to take a copy and work on it, because we redo some additional work here. So active users, that is one particular execution. The other one is I'm using for statement here. Do you remember? I can use for inside a dictionary also as an iterative process. Okay, and not only I used for, but also I used a if condition. Okay, so that's why it's a good example. And then I'm going to define active users and then pull out active users, put it there. So for user and comma user and comma status in users.item. Now I'm taking users, not users copy. If status is active, because I'm not I'm not doing anything deletions in users. Okay, I'm creating a new dictionary in which I post that one. So active users, username, and then status. So and then I'm printing after that is executed fully. Okay, then I'm printing the active users. Then Hans is active, and also this name is also active. So that's what it is. So now there is a small problem here. There is a translation issue is there. So I want to quickly show you how to do translations in Python. So I'm going to install pip3. This exclamation command means you go back to the Windows. I use Windows backend engine. So it says install as if Windows command. Okay, pip3 install Google Trans equal to 3.1.0 A0. So this is the latest that we want to use. It helps you to translate any other language. So you are going to see quickly some application, 2-3 lines of applications here. Okay, so here is the translation. So that is there. I already install Google Trans, and then here with that I have a translation equal to translator dot translate. Okay, that is what you have to use. It's an example. I pick it up. WIE space GHTS space question mark comma SRC languages. Translation languages. Dutch. Okay, that is German language. Okay, and and then I'm printing. The F. Print command. There is this F, the print command, format command. Format command. F within quotes we can use. And the interesting thing is the within quotes gives you it's a dictionary now, and I'm taking the value of translation dot src translation origin. So what it is going to do is it is going to pick up this translation origin and translation src, and then it will tell me what is the text translated into, and then what is the destination language. So for example, if I apply this one, so it says there is a problem here because translator is not working. One moment. Welcome back. I know I have to get back on my because the code was not working, so I got back my correct codes here. So pip install from Google Translation, Google Trans import translator and constants, and then from pprint import pprint, initiate the Google API translator. Translator equal to translator within parentheses. Okay, so now I can use this function, translator function. So here is an example: translation translator translate. Okay, translator dot translate. This expression in Dutch, the German language, and then I'm printing translation. From here, translation is going to have many objects, and it will tell you the origin, and then the language, the origin statement, and the language, and then it will also tell you the translated text, and then translation destination language. Okay, so destination language is set here as a standard English here, because that's what I'm using in this workbook. So it actually translated this "we gets." How is it going? It in German it is "we gets" means, in English it's "how is it going." So we can use that, and I'm going to translate this. What is it? It's a name. What is it? That's why that's what I want to do. So if I do this one, for example, so it did the language. It says it identified automatically. So the codes here basically detects the language. So detection translated dot detect. So the object detect in the translator major package that is coming from the Google. It will detect. And then it says detection language. That's what Japanese. And it also gives you conference level. It is 98%. It is sure. Because some of the Far East languages have similar, similar structure, right? So, that's why it is not 100%. And then, what is we want the translation of this, right? Remember, not only detection, all these things, but also translate this, and then the SRC. Having given that it's a Japanese language, now we are giving the SRC equal to JA, that is Japanese language, and then we printed like before. Translation, origin, all those things, and this what is the origin statement, language, translated text, and then the destination language. I just thought I will because it came here as an example in this interesting docs.python.org. This translation as an example it came, but it used as an example for and if coming together. Okay, the two control statements can come together, although two different type, and that's what it is here. Okay, so with that I conclude the first part, and then I'm going to introduce more range function, break, continue statements, else class on loops, as well as I will introduce you what is called the enum function, match statements, and then finally enum function. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll see you in the next class, next video.